Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Phil and Ryan, listen up. Ryan, doesn't that sound weird or wild or whatever you want to call it? I mean, boy, oh boy, we hope everybody's still around and they didn't forget about the Listen Up podcast because that's right. We are here for you guys just as we hope that you are here for us. Ryan, a beautiful day. Finally, I think the good excuse is we wanted to wait to come on this podcast after that heat wave moved on out of here. We're finally over it, although it's still hot out. 80s feels a lot better than over 100. So, Ryan, a beautiful Thursday. I welcome you back. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday, July the 18th, as we approach a beautiful weekend and then flying south. But I'll save all them announcements for you later on next week. Ryan, I wanted to bring you on this morning to get some thought on this. And then I know you have an announcement about subs and a big thank you to everybody that you wanted to leave out there. Ryan, ESPN, they announced earlier this week they were coming out with the top 100 athletes of 2000s. Now, this is just not football, not just basketball. This is the top 100 athletes of 2000s. My first thought is I'm glad that it's not Ryan and I trying to decide who comes in at number one or even the top 10 or even the top 50, for goodness sake, right? Because, oh man, I don't know how you ever consider doing this. But anyhow, we appreciate the people that voted and appreciate the people that got together to do this because we're running off of this list. To us it's official. Maybe to some people it's not, but to Ryan and I don't think that we'll see a UConn Husky. Ryan, now correct me if I'm wrong. I think numbers 1 through 20 some are coming out later today. And then we might have another episode, right? If there's another former UConn Husky on that list. But this is big. This is big. And I told you, Ryan, we have to do it. 4-time NCAA champion and 2-time Naismith winner, Maya Moore, comes in as ESPN's number 36 athlete of the 21st century. Oh man, that's very fitting. And again, my opinion, I don't know. Maybe, of course, too young, Stewart, but I don't see another former UConn Husky coming in higher than that. So there it is, Ryan, on this Thursday morning for you, Maya Moore.
Yeah, it certainly is quite the accomplishment. But first announcement, of course, the subs up to 2.27. So you know the drill. Let's get that up to 2.28. Can't thank you guys enough for the continued support across this off season. Yeah, it's probably almost been about 12 days, it says here, since our last episode, so almost 2 weeks. But I will say these next two episodes after this are going to be a little special episodes. One on Sunday, and then of course, like you mentioned, one of us will be south from here. So two pretty special or two unique episodes coming out after this. But today, of course, is Maya Moore, and like I said, it's certainly quite the honor to be at number 36 on this list. Of course, like you said, ESPN's been unveiling 25 athletes each day this week, all the way down to number one. List the top 100, and I do believe it did actually come out probably 15 minutes ago, 1 to 25. So we'll have to take a look at that later today. And I remember scrolling through it, and I actually think Diana Taurasi was on that list, so we might have to come back on and do one on Diana Taurasi. I think Michael Phelps was number one. So that's yeah. But we'll focus on Maya Moore for just today. And 36 is pretty incredible. It just shows how dominant of a player she was throughout her entire career. Now, unfortunately, I'm personally a little too young to remember Maya playing at UConn. I do remember some of her time with the Link, but all you need to know about Maya Moore is winning followed her everywhere across her 4 years at UConn. The team only lost 4 games. The Huskies went on a 90-game win streak across 2 years, which resulted in 2 national championship rings. She won Player of the Year in 2009, 2011, all-time leading scorer for UConn with 3,036 points. And there's also so many other awards she won throughout her college career. It's pretty nuts. And I'm not sure if I've ever seen a player with that many awards and accolades, and not to mention all of her accolades in the WNBA. 4 championships, Finals MVP, League MVP, 2 gold medals, Rookie of the Year. List just keeps going on and on. And like I said, to be ranked in number 36 is a really high honor. This is athletes from all over the world, not just basketball, football players, every sport, global athletes. So only 2 spots behind Tamika Catchings, too. And Diana Taurasi was ranked 21st. So that's some pretty elite
Yeah,
company
you're
to be
right.
a
So
part
it
of.
made me eat my words, right? Yeah, not to
Yeah.
cut you off, but it made me eat my words. So you are right. Diana Taurasi on that list, but go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, Taurasi at 21. I think I just saw that like 10 minutes ago, right before we came on. So like I said, some pretty elite company to be a part of there.
Maybe that will be Sunday. I know I was stressing
Yeah.
about Ryan. What can we talk about Sunday? So unless big news drops, maybe we'll cover Diana. Matter of fact, we will cover Diana Taurasi on Sunday. Ryan, just some key accomplishments to throw at you. We thank ESPN again for putting together this list. And number one, oh my, don't even get me started. And I 100% agree with that number one spot. I want to get your take on that, even though it's not basketball. I want to see what you have to say about that very quickly. Before we get into comments, our beautiful subscribers, they left a big list of comments for you, Ryan. So we'll move on into that here pretty soon. 4-time WNBA champion. I think you already told me this, Ryan. 2-time Olympic gold medalist. How about this, though? Moore, according to ESPN, Moore was part of a 90-game winning streak and 2 perfect seasons at UConn. So you said it, Ryan. Moore officially retired in January 2023. And not only that, I was going to bring up to you, she worked, according to this here, ESPN's list, top 100, she worked tirelessly to help free her future husband, Jonathan Irons, whose prison conviction was reversed in 2020. So, I wanted to throw that out there to you very quickly because, again, we talk about, obviously, this is, I think you would agree, more or less what they accomplished on the field, on the court. But again, when I look at Maya Moore nowadays, I really do think about what she did, off of the court as well. I think that speaks volumes. And I think that you can't talk about that enough, especially for people that are not into sports. They're saying, well, who is this Maya Moore? Who maybe they're more interested. It sounds kind of weird, right? Maybe they're more interested on this, on the Maya Moore off the court rather than what she did on the court.
Yeah, I think her retirement was somewhat unexpected, but definitely for a good cause, and it was a really good story. I think I remember seeing a little video snippet of that one year during the ESPYS, and I think she might have spoken about it on the stage there at the ESPYS. So it's a pretty incredible story about her, doing all that with the wrongly convicted. And a really inspiring story and a lovely story about her getting, like you said, her future husband out of him being wrongly convicted, and them getting married. So a really special story, and I know she's continuing to work on that with her husband now. With all that stuff. So it's a really inspiring story. But yeah, it's great to see athletes, of course, past and present, doing a lot of great stuff, not just on the court, but off the court as well, inspiring others, and just doing great things in the world.
Ryan has always told me legends are made in Baltimore. Legends are built in Baltimore. No, I'm just kidding. Ryan didn't actually say that. But, Ryan, I think it proves right again and again because the Baltimore, Maryland native right down the street from you and I lands at number one on the top 100 list, Michael Phelps in swimming. But, Ryan, I'm guilty, very guilty of this. How could I forget about Phelps? I had to be honest with you, either Tom Brady or LeBron James. And here we are sitting at number one, Michael Phelps, record 28-time Olympic medalist, 23-time Olympic gold medalist, most gold medals at a single Olympics when he won 8 at Beijing in 2008.
Yeah, a pretty incredible career. I was a little too young, but I definitely do remember him at the Olympics, and it's just a really special every 4 years when the Olympics come around. Of course, I believe Paris is this year, and that should be starting pretty soon here. But yeah, I mean, just an incredible career. Definitely nobody to do it better than Michael Phelps, not just in swimming, but all the Olympic events. Michael Phelps was just known worldwide. You know, whenever he competed, you just knew he was already gonna win. It wasn't who was gonna come in first. It was who was gonna win the silver and bronze medal. We already knew Michael Phelps was gonna win almost whatever swimming competition that he competed in. But yeah, I think Simone Biles was pretty high on the list too. So I do believe she will be competing this year in Paris, so she should be really fun to watch too. I think Serena Williams came in at second on the list. I think Messi was third. I think LeBron fourth, and Tom Brady fifth. So a really interesting list. I don't know how they were able to rank all these athletes. I know I wouldn't want to be a part of ranking any of these athletes at all. But Michael Phelps, number one, definitely can't argue about that one.
All right, here we go. Jason D'Amico. This is Ryan. This is from the last video grading the UConn Huskies off season. Jason D'Amico said, B minus. It is my feeling that the UConn admin have been handcuffed with the returning veteran players that are injured. Because of the uncertainty, it is very possible that Gino and company will have to put together a piecemeal plan in the first half of the season. Too many unknowns. Peace. Ooh, well, I don't like that. Don't get me wrong. I don't like that. But in a way, he brings up a good point because, hey, I mean, you and I love to praise this team, this front office. I don't freak out on me, please, Ryan, or nobody else. What if all the pieces just don't fall into place?
Yeah, unfortunately, we do have some uncertainties about all the injuries and different players, AZ and Caroline, Yana coming off of injuries. But fortunately, we did bring in, of course, a really talented player from the transfer portal in Caitlin Chen. And of course, we have some pretty good freshmen coming in too. And we also can't forget about the sophomores that are returning. So we definitely have the players capable of stepping up if those players aren't quite healthy from last season. Of course, Aubrey Griffin, too, coming off of that ACL injury. So if some of these players aren't available that we expect to be in the starting lineup, if they're not ready to go in that first week or first month even, we definitely have the depth and the players to step up into those roles.
Bill Nichols said not an A. They missed on Beers and they need a quality, experienced big. They only have 4 bigs and Brady is the most experienced. They didn't need another guard. Plus, it's not a couple of returning injuries. It's half a team. Bottom line, there's great potential with a lot of unknowns, and we should all be excited.
Yeah, I think there was one point in the off season we thought Reagan Beers was coming to UConn. It was something about some of the players followed her on Instagram, and we were kind of expecting to see that headline of Reagan Beers committing to UConn. But unfortunately, it never happened. But we keep saying it a lot about how the really big name players don't really come to UConn. So I don't know if she would have been the right fit for UConn. I'm not sure if she visited UConn or not, or maybe spoke with Gino or some of the coaching staff, and some of the behind the scenes stuff that we probably don't know about. But maybe it just wouldn't have been the right fit for Reagan Beers. Who knows? But it definitely would have been really good to have Reagan Beers on this roster, but maybe it just wasn't meant to be. And like we say all the time, usually at UConn, we don't get, the top three or the top five, one of those players that come into the transfer portal.
Hey, last one for the day. Talk about uniting people, bringing them together. That's what we love to do on this podcast. At least, hopefully, we're doing that, Ryan. Mark Taylor, thank you, Mark, for coming through. Biggest move is Paige coming back. She unites people. I love it.
You can't really disagree with that one. It definitely was a really special announcement when we learned Paige Beckers was coming back. And yeah, I think it really is going to unite this whole team. Paige will definitely be the leader for this whole season. So we're hoping and praying she definitely stays healthy along with everybody else, of course. And yeah, but really expecting big things out of Paige this year.
All right, usually I leave it off with a quote, Ryan, but no quotes this morning. I'm like totally lost. I'm ready to get the heck out of here and have some late breakfast. Actually, I'll leave you with this and everybody else. Go ahead, Ryan, and provide the email. Hopefully, you have it in front of you. Tell them the email of our mailbag. Guys, we want you all involved this time. So, Ryan, I'm being told now it's kind of 90% chance, so that's pretty high. Special guest coming on July the 30th. That's a Tuesday. All right. So we have a little less than 2 weeks. What I want to do is, Ryan, get you and then you, yes, I'm talking to all the subs watching this, get all of you guys involved and email us with some questions that you have for, well, I guess we have to tell them, Ryan, because they're not going to know what to send. KK Arnold. Yeah, that's right. I said it, KK Arnold. Email us with questions that you have. We will pick some of them from you guys and ask her while she's on the interview with us right on the air. So, Ryan, you have the email. Tell it to them. July 30th.
Yeah, listen up, Maryland at gmail.com is the email. I think it's in the description of the channel if you guys need to find it there. But yeah, definitely really excited for that one. Can't wait to have KK on.
KK Arnold. Hopefully, we're crossing our fingers that everything works out. We're being told late afternoon. So, KK Arnold, and give it some time because it might not come out Tuesday, Ryan. It has to go through the editing process. We hope to get it out very quick. But Tuesday, the 30th, we will be recording with KK Arnold. And hopefully, later that week or the next, it will come out right here with Phil and Rye on Listen Up.